Welcome to Macrocode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our help desk management system. So as you can see here, we have our tickets, help desk management system. Then we have our tickets, assign tickets, resolve tickets, and the close tickets. So on today's video, I want us to add filters on some of our projects. So as you can see on the recent tickets, we have the filters by the title, the created by, the category, the status, the priority, and you can actually do the filters. But you can see on some of the modules here, we don't have the filters. For example, the ticket categories, subcategories, the audit trails, the system roles, the departments, we don't have the filters. So let's add the filters on our application. Then we can proceed with the other modules. So we'll start with one of the modules. So let's just check on ticket categories. So from ticket categories, we need to add these filters, and we can borrow them from the assigned tickets. So you can see on the assigned tickets, we have these particular filters. So I want us to add these filters and ensure that, let me zoom my application so that you're able to see. So let's just go first to the ticket categories. So if you come back here to the ticket categories, let me just go to the folders. So go to the folders. So we have the ticket categories under index. We need to have it here. So we are going to borrow some of the things from our tickets, which we had actually done. So most of this session will be just implementing what we had done and borrowing it from some of the other modules. So if we go to index, we can actually paste this here. So, and we realize that we are using enumerable helpdesk.models, then to get ticket category. So what I want us to do is we need to have a view model. So I'll be creating another view model for ticket categories. So I'll just do view model. Then I'll just add that. Then once I add that, let me zoom in. So we are going to add some of the properties from our ticket category. So I'll just come here. And if you go to ticket category, you're actually going to add these particular items. So let's just go to our view model. I want us to add, so you can do this, you can do that, then you can remove that and this. Then we can format. So this is how our view model looks like. Then inside this view model, I want us to add a list of items. So here we can do public list. Then you can say ticket category. And then you can give it a name here. We call it ticket categories. So these will be our ticket categories. They can do here get set. So that's what we need to do. Then the next thing that we need to do is we need to go to our ticket categories index page. So you see here, we actually need to have our, we actually need to do here, we need to have our view model here. So you can say VM. Then here we can say ticket categories. Then we need to remove this. Then this should be await. Then we can do here dot to list async. And actually the best thing is to usually have these as one line, so that you are it's easy to read. Then for our VM, so we can, instead of doing variable here, we can actually do VM dot ticket categories. Then we can always return our VM here. Then we now go back to our index here. Instead of doing this, we now do here view models. Then we have our view model here. Then this one will be now based on the columns here. So these are actually ticket categories. So we just need the name. You can do the name here, name. You can also do can have the code here. Let's just do code, here code, then here we have the created by, and we have here the name, and also what other thing we need created. You can do those two. Let's just do those two. Then if we remove this, then we'll be having our created by and that. So remember our created by, we need to have a list of all users. So what I want us to do, let's go to tickets view model. Tickets index page, and you can actually have all the created by users. You see this can have the full name. So you can actually have them here on our index page. So this will get all the list of users and we'll get the full name. Then one thing that we need to do is under index, instead of doing .model, we need to do .ticket categories. So let's just now launch our app. We should now be able to have our filters. But remember, we have not done the filters on the controller. So we need to actually apply that. So first, let's just launch. So I want us to add all those. Then we can always update it on the application and the things later. So let's just sign in. If we sign in and we go to our ticket categories, you see, you realize that we now have a search. We have the category, the created by, and we have the list of users, and even the category name. So the category name should be an input. So let's just ensure that is an input, and it's not, so you can actually copy this. And you can actually, let's just arrange this, have this here, and we have it as a name. So let's remove this. We have this as name, and you can also have this as name. So the same case we have done here. So if we update our app, then we'll be having the category code and the category name. Then the last one should be the category created by. So, and you can see you're able to search based on the users and all the list of users in the system. So if I just, so let's just relaunch. So if you're new to this channel and you're watching our videos and you're following most of our series, please consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So if I just sign in here, we are going to go to ticket categories, and you'll notice that you have now the ticket categories, the name, and the created by, and you can filter. So I want us to add this particular section to all of our modules. So under ticket subcategories, you can see we don't have any. So I'm going to borrow them here. So I'll just copy this, go to ticket subcategories here, then I can paste it here. Then on our subcategories, I think we have the view model. So you can see you have the ID, category ID, the code, and the name. So you can actually change one of the subcategories. You can include the created by, and you can also include the category, because these are subcategories. So here you can say category ID. So I'll just have them here, and then this will select category. Then you can have this as a category ID. So if we do that, then we need two things. We need the list of users and the categories. So let's just go back here, pick the name of all the users, go to subcategories controller, and we can add them here. Then we also need another list. So we need a list of that is the main categories, because we are dealing with subcategories. So if we go here for the subcategories, we need the category ID. So I'll just go to subcategory. I have my ID here. Then this will be so when you are adding subcategories, let me just check for you. When you're adding subcategories, you see we are actually pulling the list of categories. So you can actually copy this and you can have them here. So you see you have the category ID, then it is taking from ticket categories, and we don't need to pass any ID there. So then we'll have our list of names. So for now then, on our application under ticket categories, we'll be having the category, the created by, the name, and the code. So let's just launch our app. We should be able to have all those already in place. So let's just update our app. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So if you go to subcategories, I don't know where we added that, ticket subcategories. I think we need to go here, ticket subcategories. Yeah, I think we need to add it on ticket subcategories. We have this here. We have two things. We have under index and we also have under ticket subcategories. So let's just go to subcategories and you can also add them here. So I think we are using view model as well. That's okay. So and this is subcategories. So I'm going to remove this. So if we update, then we should be able to have our application reflects. So let's just confirm. So if I just relaunch this, sorry, so I'm going to relaunch this, and we'll be having our subcategories with the filters. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like our video, and comment down below. So if you go to subcategories, you can see you have the code name and the category ID, but we don't have the users and the category ID. So we need to move some of the items that we had done under subcategories controller. If you go to subcategories controller, we need these two things under the subcategories action. So we need to add them here. So if we relaunch, we need to have those two there, and we can actually update our app. Then if we just go there, ticket subcategories, you can see now we have the users, the category ID, the name, and the code. So you see we have 3 fields there. We can actually make them 4. So if we go to our ticket subcategories, where is it? We can actually do these as instead of MD4, we can do 3. You do here 3, and you do here 3. So if we do that and update our app, we should be having these as code. You can see code, name, created by, created on. And this category ID is actually not giving something. It's not appearing it well. So you can actually give it a name here. So if we just do display name, and we do here category name. I just do category name. Here you can say category code, subcategory. This one will be sub category code, and you can say here this is a sub category name, and this will be category number. Let's just category number. So that's how you can make your application and even change how you want it to look like. So we just launch our app, then we should be able to see all those items. So let's just launch. If we go to subcategories, you can see you have now subcategory code, name, category name, and we have all the categories and even the names. So audit trails, the same case. We need to do the same case for audit trails. You can see we have a list of audits. So we have the action affected table created by. So we can also add it. So let's just go to subcategories. We can copy this particular card. Then I'll just, so this is how it looks for those who are watching. So this is how our card looks like. If you want to follow, that is how it looks. But it's something that we've been creating. So I'll just go to index, and I'm going to add this. So on the audit trail, you can see we don't have a view model. We have a model. So I'll just go to view models, then new, audit trail view model. Then I'll add. So if you go back to our model, so let's just go to our audit trails. So I'm going to go to the model here, and I'll just copy everything here. Go to our view model and paste. Then I'll just remove this. Instead of, yes, I'll remove that. So our view model should have everything that we have on our model. Then down here, I'll now have my list. I'll have my list of models of audit trails. So I'll just do public list. Then I can say here a list of audit trail, and I can call these audit trails. Then you can say get set. So that is it. So then if we go to our index, so let's just go to our index now. Instead of having enumerable, I can do this, and I can have my view models here, and this is coming from there. Then if we go to our ticket controller, that is the audit trails, under index, I can add this, and I can do here VM. Then instead of doing variable audits, I can do VM.audit trails. Then I can just add my VM here. So that will give me my audit trails. Then remember, when you do that and you go to audit trails, then we need to have here. So we need to have these actions here. So you can say this is the action. So you can do here action. Then you can, so this is action. You can do module. You can do here module. You can do affected table. So you can do also, so here you can just have this as, we don't have to have it as, so you can say this is affected table, and you can do that. Then you can say here affected columns. Then you can have, I don't know if we have the created by, we don't have on audit trails. So what we need to do here, we need the user. So we can do users. So we can do here user ID. So these are you can get the audit trails of a particular user. So you can do that, and you can say created by. So select user. So here, our created by now, we need also to borrow from what we've been doing and controllers. So if we go to subcategories, we can copy this, and you can add it on our audit trails here. Then I can have them here. So then one thing that you need to remember, also on our subcategories, you are doing, I think that was already mapped. It had a view model, but for our audit trails, remember after doing that, remember to actually change this to audit trails, because that is where now the list is. So if we launch our app now, we should now be able to see our filters, and we can be able to actually do every kind of filter that we want. So as let me log in, and as I log in, so I want us to go to audit trails, and you'll realize that we now have the action, module, affected table, affected columns, and the user. So here, I don't know where we have that value called index. And if we go to our audit trails view model, we need actually to check something. This should be affected. Then this should be created by. We can have that. can say module, that is the action. And you can see currently, when we just launched this, it gave us the action as index. So, and also we have the created by users, and we have all the others. So we have the affected table and the affected columns. So audit logs, we don't need the filters here, but for the users, we actually need the filters under users. So if we go to users, so under index, you see we don't have anything. So we need to add it. So you can borrow what you have here. So I'll just borrow and have them here. Then under users again, you can see you have application user. So we need to have a view model. So I need to have a model here. So I'll just say application user view model. So if I just do that, then I can actually go to, let me close everything. So I'll close all tabs. So if I go to now users, I need to borrow all the fields here. So I can actually borrow from application user. So let's just go to the, let me just take everything here and also borrow the details from identity. So if I go here to our application user view model, I'll take that and I can also borrow the identity user, that one. So we have our gender, all this information. So then we can now have our list of users here. So we'll just do public list. Then you can say application user. So I can so do here application users. Can say get sets, and you can do that. Then I can also do here. If I just come here, I'll now do. So let me undo. So if I just do that. Yes, so I need to change this. Then I have my view model here, and I can add it here. Then on the names, you can have the user ID. You can have the user ID. You can also have first name, middle name. These are the users in the system. First name. You can have middle name. Then you can have last name. You can have last name. Then you can have phone number. So I'll remove this. You can have your phone number. This is phone number. Phone number. Then you can have email. You can have email. You can do also email. So then here you can now do dot application users. So if we do that, then our app should be okay. So if we launch, we should now be okay to proceed. So let's just confirm and check if everything is okay. So if I just sign in, I need to go to system users. So you can see here the model item pass. So we need to do something. We have an error there. So if we go to our controller for users, we need to have our view model here. Application user view model. We do here VM. Then we need to assign this to our VM dot application users. Then we need to return our VM here. So that is how it should look. So if we just now relaunch our app, we should now be able to. So there is an error. We need to close this here. If we relaunch this, then we should be good to go. So let me just proceed and launch our app. Then if you are going to sign in, There we have the system users. So you can see we have now the ID, the first name, the middle name, the last name, phone number, and the email address. So here I can actually change this. We can remove the ID and have you can say role. So here we can do, let me just go back here and the users. So you can do here, instead of that, you can do role. And the role will be the role ID. That means we'll need the list of roles. So here will be, I'll just do here, display. Then I'll just do your first name. I'll do your middle name. Then I'll do your last name. I'll do last name. Then I'll also have my role name, that is the role. Then I think that's okay. Then we can also have this as a country name. Then, since we have all this, we need now to have our list of, you see the roles, we need to have the list of roles. So we can actually borrow from what we had done. We can borrow the list. You see this, select. So we can actually borrow them from here. So I'm avoiding to type, guys, so sorry. So here you can do the role ID. This is role ID. And you can have this as a role ID. So then you can say select role. So you can search based on roles. So also when you're adding users, we have the list of roles. You see this? So you can have these here. And you'll be able to get all list of roles. So if we now launch our app, we should now be able to see all those list of roles. And we should be good to proceed. So if I just sign in, and go to users, system users. So you can see now I can be able to see all the list of roles that I have. So we have the ICT manager, first name, middle name, last name, phone number, email. What other thing? We can also do gender. So it depends. So I think for that, I'm going to leave it there for today. So if you're new to this channel and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and see you in our next episode. Bye.